good evening to the humans of Earth. I am super grateful to be here with you guys tonight, and this is my channel, Sovereign Starseed. Welcome to the spaceship. Give me just a moment to go ahead and make sure that everything is getting all set up here and we're good, so we can start the transmission. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Getting all the things set up. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about some cryptos. Let's talk about spirituality. Let's talk about everything that's involved with everything, because that's what we do on this channel. So first of all, I'll just give you that introduction. My name is Seth. My friends call me Silky, and on this channel we like to talk about cryptocurrency news every night, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 o'clock Universal. And I feel that it's very important for the people of Earth to get the news from cryptocurrencies. Let me make sure this is better. There we go. I feel like it's important for people to get the news about cryptocurrencies and stay aware of the knowledge. We also like to speak about this stuff from like a sovereign perspective, and we also like to just really tie in spirituality as well, just because, you know, it's known on the planet right now that we're in a spiritual crisis. So there we go. What's up, Dean? Dean's in the house. Good evening, my friends. So glad that you're here. Ooh, Skull Buffs joining the room. So glad y'all are making it. Dean asks, do you have any IOTA? Yes, Dean, I am holding some IOTA. It's something that is, you know, very important, not only as a coin to make profit from, but more importantly, the project that's behind it and the purpose that it provides. So, yeah. What wallet do I use? So right now with IOTA, it's just chilling on the exchange, but I will tell you that the wallet that I use is Exodus for my desktop, and then for mobile, I use Coinbase. So that's just because, like, usually mobile, I'm just doing things with BTC or Litecoin now. So yeah, so anyways, let's go ahead and get in some of the news. I'd be happy to show you and get a link to a video set up, so that way anybody that asked that question, we could just I could show you exactly what's going on. In fact, I might be able to get something set up in the chat like that. That's a good thing. I can't transfer it out too. You have that issue too? So right now it's like, yeah, a lot of times with the network, like I've been waiting on one transfer for a little while from IOTA, but not too much, like only for like an hour. But I'll say this too, is that like after this one transfer, I haven't done anything with IOTA, just because like I'm interested in just holding it for a moment. So anyways, getting into some news here. Hempcoin, THC on Twitter. So first of all, Hempcoin is a coin that is trying to provide like a payment medium for the cannabis industry, which I think is very pertinent. I think it's very relevant, and you know, if you live in one of those forward-thinking areas where cannabis is medicinal or even recreational where you're at, you know, this is something that is definitely going to affect you. So Hempcoin, it says the Hempcoin team is proud to announce the launch of masternodes to help support the booming marijuana industry in 2018. THC will be a completely anonymous privacy coin with the goal of becoming the dominant payment processor in the cannabis industry. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. So that's beautiful. So masternodes are something that's awesome, that helps further stabilize a cryptocurrency's network, and it allows people that are really invested into a certain coin to get rewarded even more than people that aren't as invested in. So I think that's beautiful. So yep. Taking a look at the next article. This is pretty interesting. Cointelegraph has an article out today that says Hypnosis, the answer to forgotten wallet passwords. I was like really interested in seeing this when I was reading this, and it says Dennis Darkash Durgash, who runs a Russian advertising platform serving cryptocurrency websites, says people will do almost anything to access their wallet accounts. And so what's happening right now is that there's a person in Russia, according to RT, a hypnotist in Russia is charging 1 Bitcoin to help users remember their lost passwords. If you unlock your wallet, you are also liable to pay 5% of the amount of Bitcoin you recovered in your stash. But, this is interesting, guys, because if you live in Russia, you could pay a hypnotist to help you remember the password and claim your little pile of gold. And it says down here that Veronica Marimer is the hypnotist who has helped almost half of her 20 clients to remember their lost Bitcoin passwords. With the help of hypnosis, I can bring a person into an altered state of consciousness when he or she can recall the information he or she needs. Fascinating, right? So I didn't think that was something that was actually possible. But first of all, let me just ask you this. Would you really trust somebody to let you go under now? Now that you know that those people can now help you recover your password? That's pretty interesting. Think about that. What are the pros to being able to remember your password through a technique where you're in a trance state and you have to trust somebody to bring you back out of that state? And what are the cons to that? Because I think this is pretty interesting that people are there's been almost 10 people in Russia that have now remembered their Bitcoin passwords through the use of hypnosis. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Skychain. What is Skychain? Skychain is a blockchain-based data marketplace and an AI marketplace, and that is really interesting. So you guys, AI is now getting into the blockchain, which is just something that I knew was inevitable. I knew it was going to happen. But now, as you can see this here, you can see that, this is something that we're not going to be able to easily be able to avoid, is what I could say. Is that it's going to be hard for us to avoid anything, because any AI getting into Bitcoin, because it's pretty much inevitable, and I was just waiting for it to happen. So now we have an AI marketplace where you can actually end up buying certain machines that do AI processing for you, and the marketplace will show you a little bit more. But looking at Skychain, guys, you'll be able to see that. And Coinadol is a new website that put that article out. But Skychain is pretty interesting. Just wanted to show that so that you guys could see that now AI is starting to affect some of the blockchain, and now we have a whole marketplace on that. And definitely, what are the positives and benefits to AI affecting blockchains? Could humanity and humans take backseat to AI if it eventually was able to run a blockchain? Anyways, next, let's go ahead and take a look at gold dealer AppMex now accepting Bitcoin, cites customer desire for anonymity. Cointelegraph.com is reporting that buyers can make purchases with Bitcoin at any time from nearly anywhere, just as with most credit cards. International orders become significantly easier as cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is accepted worldwide without conversion. Also, many customers prefer Bitcoin payment because of the anonymity offered by a blockchain purchase. So, gold or digital gold? And that's pretty much the toss-up right now. And digital gold is pretty interesting, and that's how Bitcoin was created. And there are some other general facets of Bitcoin that should be known, such as there's a limited amount, and we're already past half. There's going to end up being a direct correlation to Bitcoin to the amount of gold in the Earth's crust as we start to see this stuff come out. And what's interesting is that, wouldn't it be really interesting if Mother Nature decided to release gold in the crust of the Earth, and she decided to cut down the rate that gold was produced in the crust of the Earth every 4 years? What about every 40 years? Maybe every 400 years, because it's a planet. Interesting, right? Just thinking about it. So next, I just wanted to go ahead and put out in the news that Cointelegraph puts an article out today that says that IRS Bitcoin hump ramps up, but tax amnesty could follow. Expert blog. And so basically it says that Expert blog is Cointelegraph's new series of articles by crypto industry leaders. And so basically what this is talking about is that right now, there is going to end up being more ramping up of the IRS to try to end up seeing some of these huge accounts that were spending a lot of Bitcoin. However, basically it says that there was a judge that's in here. Let me Control F it. Can I do that? Oh no, I'm on Windows. Hold on. Control F. I was trying to do, Command F. But there's a judge that basically, she ruled that Coinbase must supply the tax agency, the IRS, with the identities of all the users in the U.S. who conducted at least one Bitcoin transaction equivalent to at least $20,000 between 2012 and 2015. And so basically, only 800 to 900 taxpayers reported gains related to Bitcoin in each of the relevant years. That more than 14,000 Coinbase users have either bought, sold. I'm sorry. Okay, this is serious. That only 800 to 900 taxpayers reported gains related to Bitcoin out of 14,000 users that bought, sold, sent, or received at least 20,000 worth in any given year suggests that many Coinbase users may not be reporting their Bitcoin gains. So what I have to say is that there's a big stance on this where that, we're starting to recognize that taxes are something that, let me just go ahead and say, even from my own volition, I believe that taxes are something that are necessary. But I also believe that there's something that, we should absolutely see the transparency of what's happening with our money, and we should have a lot more say in how it's being spent. Because I don't really feel that people would have too much of a problem trying to keep their roads paved if they knew that they could opt out of buying for bullets and more war, weaponry with their tax dollars. I don't think that, it would be too hard for them to end up seeing something like that, if we were able to end up having distinct areas where our money is going, and we could see it going into a blockchain, and then we could see it being used on a blockchain, and having it come out of a blockchain and directly into the wallets of public schools, hospitals, utility companies, and seeing the exact amounts, So that's where I think that those types of things could end up being something that would be very nice, but it'd have to be something that we would have to all agree upon, and it would be hard for everybody to have agreements upon something like that. And at the same time, there should be also the freedom of people being able to have the option of thinking otherwise. So, I think that, there's going to be some very interesting things that are going to end up following up with this. I'm just speculating, you guys. This is just my opinion. I'm just the man that has an opinion that can change and contradict all the time. But with what I'm saying here is that as this is, they're just saying right now that the IRS is starting to ramp up its efforts with being able to find people's Bitcoin transactions that were over $20,000, but also there's the possibility that some amnesty may be able to follow that. However, it's nothing's been said one way or the other. This is just something that is possible that could happen. And I just want people to see that there's so many possibilities that could still play out, that it's not worth us getting too emotional one way or the other on what could happen regarding this type of stuff. So just wanted to end up pointing that out there, And next in Bitcoin news, I just wanted to talk about Cointelegraph has a beautiful article that says Bitcoin has less environmental impact than fiat currencies, which is beautiful. And so it basically says, the risk of environmental impact because of Bitcoin mining has been widely touted, but a recent report indicates the actual damage from Bitcoin mining may well far be less than that associated with fiat currencies and other industries. Data centers, gold mining, and cash production all consume substantially more energy than Bitcoin mining. The report indicates that the annual consumption of power from Bitcoin mining is 8.2 terawatt hours per year, more than Ireland and other small nations. Nevertheless, this number is actually only an eighth of what data centers in the US consume annually. And the global production of fiat currencies stands at 11 terawatt hours per year, guys. So gold mining burns a staggering 132 terawatts per year. What's more, these numbers don't even include the massive amounts spent on vaults, banks, security systems, and more to keep the physical cash and precious metals safe. So there's a lot of FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So whenever you're feeling like pessimistic, or it's feeling like you may not be able to see like a light at the end of the tunnel, guys, just understand that the FUD has gotten to you. And I want us to remind ourselves, and if you guys see me getting too pessimistic at any point, please, remember to point out and help me remain optimistic, because I want to help you remain optimistic. And so just remember that, the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining has been widely touted, particularly by those who believe it to be a non-legitimate currency, but it appears that these accusations are more fear, uncertainty, and doubt rather than actual facts. These reports do not take into consideration the actual costs of other types of value production, all of which consume resources. In point of fact, Bitcoin consumes less energy than its non-digital equivalents. There it is, baby. Just think of all the trees it costs to make paper. Just think of all the ink involved. Just think how Bitcoin needs neither. Just needs electricity, and we're already starting to figure out about hydro mining to get around that. So I just want, us to end up remembering that so we can stay optimistic about this type of thing. Next, I want to end up talking about Cointelegraph has another article out that says governments using crypto as a reason to spy on us. So, since its inception in 2009, Bitcoin pioneered the way for cryptocurrencies and has boomed into mainstream consciousness in 2017. Blockchain technology promises liberation from centralized banking, but its anonymous nature also puts in it the sights of government and security agencies. A prime example is the now defunct Silk Road, which was an online marketplace that allowed users to buy and sell everything from drugs and guns to information for Bitcoin. Obviously, buying and selling illegal goods will land you in a world of trouble if you're caught. This truly is the dark side of the cryptocurrency world, which allows drug dealers and illegal arms to trade an anonymous and untraceable way of doing business. The FBI shut down the Silk Road and arrested its founder Ross Ulbricht, ending the run of the biggest player in the dark web's trading history. Ironically, one of the investigating agents was found guilty of stealing Bitcoin from Silk Road while he was investigating the online platform. So, it's just corruption on both sides. Encryption doesn't necessarily equal anonymity. So while it's understandable that anonymous transactions allows nefarious people to do their dirty business, even the European Union believes that cryptocurrencies are not favorable for terrorism. So in a report released earlier this year, the European Commission declared that terrorist groups need fiat currencies to operate. The intrinsic complexity of Bitcoin transactions is a factor, so is the publicly available ledger. So you see, right there, that makes it right there. This report, anybody that's trying to tell you Bitcoin fosters terrorism, and it's going to come up huge, especially in the future. Whenever anybody tries to tell you that there's some Bitcoin, it's out there for terrorist financing, just go ahead and look at some articles like this, and you'll end up seeing that a European report was put out saying that actually terrorists are going to favor fiat currencies more because it's simpler to push around, and there's not a publicly available ledger for people to look at. So, boom. Right there, you can see where, Bitcoin in a way is anonymous, but in a way is not anonymous. So as you can see that there, that's something that's pretty interesting. And it also says, using terrorism to force regulation. Terrorism has been a threat to civilized society for decades, and governments have done their utmost to snuff out the most significant threats. There is no doubt that terrorist groups pose a danger to society, but the truth is that the threat of terrorism has also been an excuse to spy on the general populace and invade foreign countries. Following the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York in 2001, America rescinded into martial law and ultimately invaded Afghanistan to confront the Taliban head-on. Since then, the U.S. has grown into a massive security state, and it was only a matter of time until the likes of the National Security Agency, the NSA, were caught spying on the American people. This example is one of the most recent and well-known instances of a government actively spying on their own citizens, using the threat of terrorism to infringe on the privacy and rights of their people. So that's why it's like, terrorism is not going to work. If that's what they're trying to say, that it funds, and it's not, it doesn't fly with me, just because there's actually more terrorism with fiat currencies than there is with a publicly available ledger. Plus, it's simpler. So, tax evasion and fraud. This is probably the biggest concern for governments and their respective revenue services. Massive efforts are being made to follow up on cryptocurrency users that have failed to declare their earnings. American exchange Coinbase was ordered to hand over the details of their biggest users' trading details as the U.S. taxman looks to clamp down on tax evasion. This week, Australia ordered that all exchanges operating in the country to register with its anti-money laundering agency. These are understandable concerns, but a line needs to be drawn in the sand. Earnings made on investments are taxable, and people need to understand that. Exactly what I'm saying here. I understand that taxes are there, but there has to be a line drawn. But making wild and unsubstantiated claims about the nefarious uses of cryptocurrencies as a reason to spy on and demand user information is wrong. People should use cryptocurrencies responsibly, but we also need to be wary of authorities misusing power to force new and unfounded regulations on the most important technological development of the 21st century, my friends. And that's it. Right there at the end. We gotta end up helping ourselves to make sure that these things don't get too defined too much, because at some point we may not be able to do anything that we're currently doing with them right now. So, next, I just wanted to go ahead and talk about how a new wallet from OpenDime, the CoinKite Cold Card, is cypherpunk cool. So I think this is actually really cool. So this is a Bitcoin wallet. It's a hardware wallet that you pretty much can plug into your computer, and it only receives cryptocurrencies onto it. And when you want to release the cryptocurrencies out of this wallet, you will have to end up taking a paper clip or a safety pin, and you'll have to pop off one of these little circuits right here on this board. You'll have to end up popping off one of these little circuits. I think it's actually this one. And you pop it off, and what it does is it opens a text file on your computer where all your private keys are, which you can then copy and paste into an exchange or somewhere else to get the funds from. And I think that's really cool. So this is another reason why these Bitcoin wallets, they are starting to end up evolving. And you know what? I am totally seeing every day more and more purpose in these hardware wallets, because I'm loving how they're starting to evolve. I'm loving the way that the developers are starting to think of these things. And so yeah, it's beautiful. I'm going to get through these, and then we may end up watching this video here in just a second if you guys don't want to, just chat. So anyways, next, Moscow government launches Ethereum-based blockchain voting pilot. So Moscow's government is, this is from trustnodes.com. Moscow's government is testing blockchain technology for use in its e-voting system called Active Citizens, which has almost 2 million users that have taken part in more than 2,000 votes. The voting rules are not binding, but they are very influential, with Moscow's government never making a decision that goes against the vote since its launch in 2014. Wow. Citizens have voted on the construction and further expansion of bike lanes, expansion of pedestrian zones, free Wi-Fi available in metro and parks, dance courses, and music bands playing in the parks. That's beautiful. Moscow's authorities say in a statement before adding, one of the largest polls was held for My Street, Moscow redevelopment project. Over 500,000 citizens have decided on specific urban and landscape design to be created, trees to be planted, new public transport routes to be launched, the list of the streets to be renovated first, and materials to be used. This direct democracy is now to be secured through blockchain technology in a testing phase with an Ethereum-based private blockchain to be used, according to ETH News. Instead of mining, Parity's proof of authority will be employed, which relies on the majority of permissioned nodes verifying transactions, or in case, votes. And by doing so, every citizen will become a node of a peer-to-peer network and will be able to record and store the database of votes. Moreover, Muscovites will be able to count the votes up and verify the authenticity of results in real time. This is beautiful. So record keeping happens to be one of the biggest advantages of the blockchain, and that's what's going to end up adding a lot of transparency to a lot of these political movements going forward. So honestly, right now, thumbs up to Moscow for being able to do this. So for the government in Moscow being able to do this since 2014 and not going against the vote of the blockchain, I think that's pretty beautiful. And that's pretty cool that now you've already been able to benefit from better streets to people playing in the parks. So that's really awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. So next I just wanted to go ahead and read a little bit, and this time I just wanted to go ahead and get into something that is going to be easy for us to end up looking at right now. It's some esoteric wisdom, and it's beautiful, and it has to deal with, you know, the pineal gland and how it's talked about in the Bible. And I really like how short and sweet and finite this stuff goes. And this is from the same book we've been kind of dipping into for the last few nights, God, Man, Word Made Flesh. Let me just go ahead and sip something and we'll get started. Thank you to everybody that's joining in right now. So, yeah, this is when we like to end up getting a little spiritual, a little esoteric, and we like to end up seeing how, you know, we can end up grounding ourselves, and we can also learn, you know, the real secrets of what's not really written about anymore, because this book right here was written in the 20s, and it's really beautiful. 1920s. Gotta say that now, because we're approaching the 2020s. So check this out. So this is just beautiful. I'm gonna end up going through this pretty fast, but you know, anything that you guys want to end up talking about in here, let's get the chat litty. So alright, check this out. The journey of Joseph and Mary. It says the marvelous story of the journey of Joseph and Mary to Jerusalem to pay their taxes, physiologically explained. And so, you know what? Actually, I want to ask you guys during this whole point here is, would you guys let me know, you know, as I'm starting to read this, would you prefer if I separated this video and made this part into like a different part of like a separate video, like a different part of the channel? Go ahead and pop up your thoughts in the chat, you know, so that we can get some feedback on that. Because I would not mind, and I'm almost actually thinking about doing that. I'm probably going to do that. So, alright, let's check this out. The journey of Joseph and Mary. The marvelous, so anyways, this is physiologically explained. On either side of the thalamus, in the head, is a gland known in physiology as the pineal. On the posterior, and the pituitary on the anterior side of the thalamus. The pineal is cone-shaped. It secretes a yellow or golden fluid. The pituitary body, opposite it, is ellipsoid in shape and contains a whitish secretion, like milk. The fluids that are found in both these bodies come from the same source, namely the claustrum, which means barrier or cloister, and is referred to as cloister for the very good reason that a precious and holy thing is secreted or secluded there. Saint Claus, or Santa Claus, is another term for this precious fluid, which is indeed a holy gift in the body of each one of us. The precious fluid which flows down from the claustrum separates, part going into the pineal gland and part to the pituitary body, and these, being special laboratories of the head, differentiate the fluid from the claustrum, and it takes on the colors above mentioned, and in the pineal gland becomes yellow and has electric properties. The pituitary body, having the milk-like fluid, has magnetic properties. These two glands are the male and female, the Joseph and Mary of the physical body, and are the parents of the spiritual son, born in the solar plexus of each human being, commencing about the age of 12, at the start of puberty. So the yellow and white material, which is the milk and honey referred to in the Bible, the children of Israel, having been given the promise of a return to this land flowing with milk and honey, at last reaches the solar plexus via semi-lunar ganglia. See the chart. See if I can find it. The chart's maybe it's probably way in there. So, basically it's just talking about how there are two different nerve endings that go up the spine, just like the two snakes on the staff for the symbol that's on the ambulance. I'll go ahead and bring that up right now. It's called the caduceus. I'm probably spelling that wrong. It's whatever. Right here. So the staff of Hermes. So what this is talking about is how it's going up the spine, and there are two different nerve endings that come up the spine. Okay? And they start in the solar plexus. So it says, it last reaches the solar plexus via semi-lunar ganglia, the Bethlehem of the physical body. In Hebrew, Bethlehem means house, Beth of bread, Lehem, I am the bread of life, said the allegorical Jesus. In the solar plexus is a thimble-shaped depression, a cave or manager, and in this is deposited a psychophysical seed or holy child, born in this immaculate conception. This psychophysical seed is also called fish, as it has the odor of fish, and is formed in the midst of the waters, the pure water. Jesus is a fish in the midst of the waters, St. Augustine. Before birth, the human fetus floats like a fish in the fluids by which it is surrounded, and as it is with the child formed on the generative plane, so it is with the spiritual born in the solar plexus, the Bethlehem. Joseph and Mary, by furnishing the material for the spiritual child, which was to redeem the child or body from generation, paid the symbolical redemption money. Holy Ghost, Greek for breath, the breath descending from the nerve into the center, the breath descending the pneumogastric nerve into the solar center, enters the manager, where Joseph and Mary are, and where is Jesus, the seed, literally conceived by the Holy Ghost. So there's a lot of information here that's talking about how, even in the Bible, it's saying that, there's some beautiful fluids that actually end up coming out of the top of your brain from the claustrum, and it starts to end up secreting into these two different nerve endings. or the two different glands, the pituitary and the pineal gland. And then it starts to end up going down the spine all the way to the solar plexus. And what's really interesting is that, like, getting further into that, you'll see exactly what's happening with our thoughts when we meditate, and we end up taking these type of information, and we end up, just really, really thinking about it. If any of you guys thought that any of that stuff was pretty interesting that I was just reading there, give me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about that. You're definitely free to, direct message me as well anytime. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the stream lounge here and just open up the Discord room. And if anybody is hearing that the Discord room is having like any problems with anything, just go ahead and shout it out and let me know. And like if we're overlapping each other, just let me know so that way I can definitely try to figure out another workaround. All right. So Charlie Price back in the house. What's up, my friend? We were just talking a little bit about the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and how they were code words for Joseph and Mary inside the Bible. And before that, we were talking about all the crypto news. So super glad that you guys are able to make it tonight. Now we're getting into the stream lounge, so I'm going to pop the link out in chat and we'll go ahead and hop in there. So, alright, I'm in the stream lounge now, and let me go ahead and get the link out. Thank you. I got a feeling BTC to 20K when we wake up tomorrow. Yeah, you know what, Charlie, you're right. In other news, I could definitely say that I could see BTC shooting through the roof as well. Tomorrow, you guys, it's an important day. So Wall Street is going to start trading Bitcoin tomorrow. And so what's pretty interesting here is that, I want to end up seeing that if it's going to end up flattening the volatility of the price, or if it's going to make the volatility actually increase. So we'll see, but this is definitely some interesting questions to pose. Mike messing up right now. Oh man, thank you for saying that. Okay, good. Boom. Is that any better? Let me know. Is my mic any better? The shift card. Right on. Yeah, no, I have seen the shift card. That's the one that I recommend over BitPay. So, yeah, man. So tell me, if the microphone is still messed up, just keep calling it out. I appreciate that, Charlie. But yeah, so you're right. Okay, so it does sound like, when I'm on my test device here, it does sound like I'm able to end up hearing myself. So if you're still having problems, just let me know. But yeah, there is some interesting stuff. Wall Street's about to start trading it tomorrow, and there's going to be some big things that are going to end up happening from this. So everybody that's bought into Bitcoin that did it before Wall Street, congratulations, because you made some very smart and sovereign decisions. Because I now have a feeling that after Wall Street starts trading it, you're going to see so many people buying it. And I have a couple other questions for you guys. Tampa Bucks in the house. What up, bro? Hey, I can't do the Discord room tonight because people are saying that my mic is messing up. But also, bro, no worries about not being able to make it in the past few nights. It's all good, my friend. We're going to be here every night, 10 p.m. The spaceship lifts off. So we got a reliable mechanic. So check this out, guys. I just want you guys to end up seeing right here that this is something that's pretty beautiful. Charlie Price, remember though, the tax consequences when you spend it. What are the tax consequences with Coinbase? Bro, I think your mic was good. Mine wasn't working well. Oh, but that was me in there? Oh, shoot. Right. Oh, yeah, you're Tampa Bucks. It's Taylor. Yeah. On my end, on my Discord, it's still showing that your mic was muted. But Charlie Price was saying that it was messed up on Periscope. And also, I was listening to it from my device that I'm looking at on Twitch as well. And it's like choppy. So I gotta like figure out another way around this, man. If any of you guys have ever seen like a stream and like you do figure out a way that somebody is able to stream successfully and use a Discord room, ask them how they're doing it and then give me that freaking tip, please. So let me just go ahead and talk to you guys like a couple of questions that's going to be very good for us to think about. So Wall Street, they're going to be trading Bitcoin. They're going to be taking orders from people. Now, you guys following this channel and already getting into this type of stuff are already more sovereign and can already see it a lot wider than the people that are going to get into it from tomorrow going forward. And, I mean, I guess like if they get into it from one of these stock market futures exchanges, right? And the reason why is because, let me just ask you this. What do you guys think? Yeah, it is Coinbase's debit card. Shift card is awesome, and you can end up locking your funds into BTC or USD. That's why I like it. So, but also, check this out, guys. Bitcoin trades 24/7, 365, but the stock market only is open 40 hours a week, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Wait, is that 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 6, 7, 8? Yeah, so that's freaking 40 hours a week. So you know what I'm saying? So if it's only open that much, then like what? How is somebody that's going to be trading futures on a stock market going to handle a 24-hour cryptocurrency market? Like, how is that going to happen? Okay? And I want you guys to also notice that like there have been times already today, and bet you tomorrow Coinbase is going to be down. Coinbase has been down. The CBOE site is down. And you know what? These guys, I guess they didn't know how to scale, right? I guess they don't know how to end up getting there. And their site immediately crashed right when they launched. It's like right there. Yeah, Kramer is getting drunk right now. Yeah, no, right? That's so funny. But you guys think about that. Like, how would a futures market be able to even try to trade on a 24/7 market? Like, what are they gonna do? You know, like stop the price of Bitcoin at 5 for their customers, and then open it again at 9? Like, what? What? So, like, just think about that. So, like, you know, what I would say is that, like, you know, right now it's like I'm seeing Bitcoin hitting like 20K, 19Ks very fast, very soon. And, you know, like, this is something that is going to be very good. And I want us to all recognize that, like, you know, with this, what's the tax? What's the tax? You wanted to know, Charlie Price. What's the tax? Right, exactly. Exactly. Go to CBOE right now. See if they're open. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Let's see if it's open. This is going to be hilarious. Dude, as soon as they launched, crashed. Oh, dang, they've actually already launched. That's why Coinbase has been down earlier. So yeah, right when they launched this, they immediately crashed. The first US Bitcoin futures now available for trading. XBT trading exchange fees waived in December. Oh my gosh. So, you know, this is gonna be huge. Gemini. So these guys are definitely being backed now by the Winklevoss twins. So Winklevoss twins are the ones that own Gemini exchange, and so Gemini is, you know, helping these guys out, and that's where You know, as we've been following who they are, what they've been doing, like we can see further into what their moves are. So, do I like Roger Ver? So, you know what? I have to. And I also have a love-hate relationship with the dude, because there's a lot of information that, and I don't know him like personally, I've never talked to him, like don't think that, but just the information that I've seen online is that, like, you know, he's done great things for the cryptocurrency community, and he's very passionate in a way that my heart aligns with what he aligns with. He really cares about people being free. He really cares about people's privacy from the things that I've seen. But I also want to say that I've also seen quite a few, like, pieces of information of him hanging out with characters that I don't necessarily approve of, and I'm not interested in naming, you know, right now on the channel. But Roger Ver is kind of like, you know, it's kind of like other things in life. When you have a love-hate relationship, you realize there's something real there. And you're like, oh man, I hate you. Oh man, but I love you too. I can't get rid of this. So I think that's pretty interesting. So Sibo's coming out with all of this. So I like to hear his excuse. They were trying to kill it, in my opinion. Well, so I would say that, like, he is recognizing that there's a lot of flaws in Bitcoin. Roger Ver is. And so, are you saying, Charlie Price, are you saying that they're trying to kill it by creating Bitcoin Cash? Is that what you're alluding to? Help me see if I'm wrong. You talking about Bitcoin Cash? Because, yeah, like, what I could say, man, is that, like, you know, with that, like, Roger Ver has a huge stake inside Bitcoin Cash, and that is the first successful fork from the Bitcoin protocol. But, you know, I want to also remind you guys that, like, these protocols are gonna have two different purposes. So, like, CBOE is starting to trade Bitcoin futures. I don't know how long it's gonna be before they start trading Bitcoin Cash futures. But, you know, another reason that the network is going to be clogged for the next few days is what I got on the screen right here. You know, these guys are going to be making this stuff going. They're just going to go through the freaking roof, and it's going to make the network slow down significantly. No, the CBOE, in my opinion, they were shorting the crap out of it. Yeah, exactly. Well, they're trying to end up, yeah. Well, so, like, they're trying to do what they can to end up coming aboard on this. And, like, what's so interesting about this is that, like, we're not going to be able to end up seeing, you know, oh man, I don't know, like, I might end up just trying to buy one of these, just to end up playing around and, you know, like, what are the benefits, what are the detriments, because there's always a double-edged sword to everything, right? But I don't know, man. Like, now that I've been able to trade on an exchange and wake up at 2 in the morning and get some tweet that, like, something's about to shoot through the roof because, you know, something in China or Japan happened, well, then I want to be able to take advantage of that. And if my money's tied up in SIBO, well, then shoot, that's not even going to really end up helping. Yo, Ray, what's up, brother? So glad you're able to make it. The regulars in the house, friends. Thank you for getting on the spaceship, bro. I wasn't watching the time, but so glad the stream is still live. I'll review tonight's discussions after, but I'm in it now. So grateful for grateful for you, my friend. Grateful for you. Tell me what you think about our esoteric part of tonight's broadcast, and then let me know if you think that we should be putting that part into a separate video or not, and, you know, just leaving, like, these nightly crypto talks to just crypto, and if we should separate off that esoteric stuff. What do you guys think? Anybody that's already kind of, like, watched this whole stream, that part where I was reading this, you know, about the pineal gland inside the body, what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should be separating that into a different video? Do you just want the crypto news right here? I can respect it, you know, but I definitely do need to be speaking about that stuff because it's important for us to know that, you know, spiritually. They don't know they're done already. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. Exactly. Because, you know, if we got channels like this out there and we got people trying to help each other out, you know, then they're going to be like, well, wait a second. So, like, you know, if I could just go to Bittrex.com and set up an account in 5 minutes and I could trade that 24/7, then, like, why would I even want to go to SIBO and then, like, give my money to them? Like, why? And then there would be people that would probably be like, well, your money's safe, you know, it's like, It's like, you gotta like put your money with people that do this all the time, you know? And like, little do they know that these people are just now learning about all this, you know what I mean? And you guys watching this channel is great. The 99% revenge is coming. Oh my goodness. Charlie Price, I'm on point with this. Yep. Exactly. And you know what? It's going to be a bloodless revenge. It's going to be just a beautiful way of people being able to take their power back, you know, and then restore balance to the planet. That's really what we're here doing. We're trying to help Earth reclaim her sovereignty, because then once we can all be free, you know, of our controllers, then we can start to innovate, we can start to invent, we can start to really collaborate and get inside this planet and learn so many more of the secrets that are contained here, because it's amazing. So yeah. The quick pump and dumps are more enjoyable. Yeah. Right? Exactly, you guys. Like, you guys are seeing it. Let me also give you a little quick tip too. I know you guys are interested in finding out about the bots that I use and like the trading bots that I have. But, you know, Tampa Bucks is bringing up a really cool point right now, and it's that, you know, there have been times that, yes, I will make like profit on using trading bots and things like that, but also there have been times that I've made more profit in 1 to 2 manual trades just from watching the market and then manually selling it. I've made more profit in like 1 to 2 trades manually than my bot makes in like 75 trades over like 4 days. I don't know, it all depends on the market. And the market's been so crazy lately that you always have to keep on fine-tuning this thing. But, you know, yeah, it's really cool because these trades are very good. And when you make a manual trade and you make like an 80% gain on it, you make a 300% gain on it, you just feel great about yourself. You're like, wow, I did not expect that to happen. So that's so good. Yeah, pretty much. It's game, match, set, point, baby. What do you think, Charlie Price? Have you talked to software engineers about the decentralized internet and decentralized search engines? What do they got to say about that? Because I know that the FCC is trying to do their thing. Oh, Will, love the esoteric stuff you were dropping yesterday. I think sovereignty ties in so deeply with crypto, and esoteric knowledge ties in so deep with sovereignty. I'll review tonight's stream and back at you, but I think I'll probably say it all belongs together in this spaceship. Okay, cool. It's over. Right, Charlie Price. Right on. Yes, thank you, Ray. Appreciate you guys. Hey, you guys, also, so that you guys can know, seeing me and getting me on the link in my profile if you're watching this through Periscope. Going over to Twitch and getting into the Twitch chat, it's really good. It helps me out, and there's a lot of other things that you could do in there too. So just want you guys to know that as well, that there's other things, there's other benefits that are on the table for you. They lost the war, and the war hasn't begun, but it has. Exactly. Well, I would just basically say, you know what? There wasn't really even a war, my friend. Like, in fact, like, it was just a lot of oppression. There's a lot of just control. And like now it's just kind of like people are breaking their bondage. They're breaking these chains that were holding them down, you know? And so that's beautiful because, like, you know, like the controllers are going to definitely be like, okay, wow, people are now using the internet in a very innovative way. Now they're sending their own transactions across the internet, Johnson, and we can't track any of it. We must now control the internet. So that's what they're going to go ahead and try to do with this stuff. But guess what? Now that our species has been waking up so hard, we've been doing enough work so much recently that now we are starting to think of all these alternatives and implementing and actually putting them into place and decentralizing and open sourcing all of that stuff. So that way we can make sure that, yeah, you know what? The controllers, they're going to control the internet that they created. That's all right. They created it. That's cool. But now that we've used it, we can use it for a way to create alternative internets that now we dictate the rules of. And that's what's going to be beautiful, my friends. So, you know, think about this. Think about this. In 10 months, 12 months down the line, 24 months down the line,